back to the Move Me Kitchen. I'm Natasha, and tonight we're going to make some polenta cakes. This is the first time that we've made these from scratch ourselves, but we have eaten them before. A couple of years ago we worked at a yoga retreat centre in Spain, and we may have mentioned this in another video. And the chef that we were working with was very good, but she did use salt and oil and tamari in everything to excess. So technically you can make just about anything taste good with salt, oil and tamari. So we liked her recipes, but we're now trying to play around with them and clean them up a little. So tonight we're going to replicate her recipe, but clean it up without the oil, without the salt, and we're also going to bake them in the oven. So we have a few different things happening here. What we're going to use is polenta. Polenta is ground up corn basically, and you definitely want to make sure if you're using this that it's organic, because inorganic corn products could be GMO, genetically modified. So we thought of doing two different styles. We've got sun-dried tomatoes that are rehydrating in some boiling water, and we're going to put them with some fresh herbs and some olives.
What herbs have you got there?
I've got parsley and coriander, and we're also going to steam fry some red onion and spring onion for those. And then we thought with the other half we're going to mix through some peas and some corn. So we're going to have corn with our corn. So two different types of cakes, two different recipes, and it actually shouldn't take too long. So the first step is to boil some water. We've already done that. I'll put that on now. The ratio for polenta is 3 to 1. So 1 cup of polenta, 3 cups of water, and just work to that ratio. Tonight we're using 2 cups of polenta, 6 cups of water. And also we just realized the polenta that we bought is pre-cooked. So apparently it's only going to take 2 minutes according to the pack to cook, which is handy. The type you buy might not be pre-cooked, so it will take a little bit longer. So it would be similar to how you would cook quinoa, where it absorbs the water. Okay, that's the same thing that you want to do with polenta. We're just going to keep stirring that so it doesn't burn or stick to the bottom. So water is boiling, and once that's ready we'll pop the polenta in. Alright, so that really did take like less than 2 minutes. You can see what that looks like. Oh no, it's clumping. Wow, we actually took it off the heat because it started splashing everywhere. But stir, 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 stir. And oh, we're gonna have to get that clump out. Could probably, yeah, use a fork. So this is polenta, and we may add a little bit more water, but this just gives you an idea of what it looks like. So the polenta is done, and we rescued it. We got the lumps out, and I've just left it aside to cool down, and you can see that it starts to firm up really nicely. So see how that's going to make a nice cake. So it starts to bulk up. So what we're going to do now is continue to let this cool down, because we're going to make little cakes and I don't want to burn my hands. But we will put the fresh herbs through. So in goes the parsley and cilantro, or coriander. And we'll do this so that the fresh herbs are evenly distributed throughout the cakes. And the easiest way to stir them through is to actually fluff. It's probably a technical term for it, but I call it fluffing.
Fluff with a fork.
Fluff with a fork. There you go. We'll just preheat the oven, say 200, 220, degrees Celsius. So we've split the mixture in 2 bowls. Corn and peas have gone in one. And now the other lot. So this is the red onion and spring onion that we cooked earlier. And the water that I used to steam fry in was the soak water from the sun-dried tomatoes. So that means that the onions were cooked in some extra flavour. So that's a great tip, to always use your soak water for steam frying or for something else in your dish.
Because when you're trying to cook salt-free, every little bit of added flavour helps.
Exactly. Alright, so we pop them in. And in go the olives and the sun-dried tomatoes. And by the way, we rehydrated them and then just chop them up to this size. And they are packed full of flavour, so they should be really good. And the other...
You can use a knife, but scissors worked particularly well.
Yes, very quick. And this is just some dried, what is it? Oregano. Some dried oregano. So a little bit more flavour. Right, so there are 2 lots, and we're going to stir this through and then make little patties out of them in a second. Looking good, looking good. So if you have a cupcake pan, that would be really handy, because then you would make perfect and even and pretty cakes, but ours are done with hand. So I'm using this spoon, this big white spoon that usually comes with a rice cooker, and it's great because it's a nice hard surface, and then I'm just pressing it down, and there's your little cake. And you know, they're all rough, they're organic, they each have their own personality. So they're all going to taste the same, it doesn't matter what they look like, and the little bits that have fallen off, they're just going to become nice and crispy and delicious. Now if you want, you can also make a little sauce to go with this. A nice little tomato based sauce would be really nice, or a, I don't know, whatever kind of sauce you can think of, depending on what flavours you're after. And you can do any combination that you want. We were thinking mushroom and capsicum would be really nice together. And
or mushroom and asparagus.
Asparagus, yeah. So you can be really creative with these. And once your ingredients are all chopped up, you saw how quick the polenta was made. And this process is not too bad. It's taking a little longer than I would have liked. But again, if you've got a cupcake pan, that will take 2 seconds. So once these are done, we're going to pop them in the oven.